one and all, and welcome to another edition of Saints FC Unscripted, episode 8, coming to you tonight. Good evening to Dan and good evening to Lee. Hope we are both well, gentlemen. It's been a while since we last did a pod, so a few things just to quickly run through. Been a few games, been a bit of transfer window activity just to quickly go through. I think the plan is we're not going to spend much time talking about them, are we? We're going to move on to last night's game and then quickly talk about the upcoming fixtures that we've got. So I think the last one we did was the Stoke preview. And you know, the corner has been turned with the after the good draw at Fratton Park. I think it was a good draw. We then went away to Stoke and recorded a 2-0 win. Azaz and Flynn Downs on the score sheet there, and I think still not a pretty game, but I think it was a much better performance. We dug in and we ground out that result. And then obviously last weekend with the home game against Watford, which we all thought was going to be a tough game. You know, Watford, not a bad team, but managerless, with the former Bournemouth player as interim boss there. So we thought that was going to be a tough game. And I know what you guys thought, but sitting there, I thought it was fairly even. And I was quite impressed with Watford, actually, for the passages of play they put together. I thought they caused us a lot of problems, and they were unfortunate not to be one up quite early on with that mistake from Peretz. But Saints rode their luck, and we managed to get the win with the new man, Carl Larin. 3 minutes 45 or something, whatever he was on the pitch, and first touch, and bang, a 1-0 win. And then we also had the transfer window, which I remember at the time when the window shut, we were all very militant about. Not a lot of business for us. I mean, it was mainly outs, lots of outs. I think the stats read that we've saved ourselves and gained about £50 million worth of revenue. So. You know, come next season when we're rebuilding again for another championship season, £15 million is quite handy, isn't it? But I think the talking point from the transfer window was Adam Armstrong being sold. Mixed opinions about that. I don't know if you boys want to talk about it at all.
All I'll say on that, I think it's fairly obvious he wanted to go. He wanted to move. From what Tonda said, he asked for the move. And I think when you get a player like that who wants to go, he's been with us a long time, you just got to let him go. And reading between the lines, A, he wanted to go, and B, was he possibly, troublemaker's probably too strong, was he possibly a negative influence on the team and they've gone, yeah, right, you can go. You know, one of the old Russell Martin lot. So I think it's going to end up being £9 million. He's 29 years old. Yeah, it is what it is, you know. Laren's come in. Laren's like prime Alan Shearer anyway, so we don't need to worry about it.
My only reservation with Adam Armstrong leaving was, had he had gone to another championship team, I'd have been highly annoyed. But he's gone to the Premier League. You know, he's had another crack at it. Fine, fair enough. I just question selling your top goal scorer at this point of the season when you know he dips in and out of form. He is a confidence player, and you knew that Saints were going to have to turn the corner, and they would pick up points and they would pick up performance levels. And Adam Armstrong being in and around the team, you know, what was he on, 11 goals? You know he'd bag himself another 6-8 goals for the remainder of the season. So, you know, if they get rid of him, they have to replace. Are they going to bring somebody in that can score that many goals? Well, we don't know. Time will tell. No one else really of any note. Joe Rebo left, didn't he? Who else? Sam Dozy's come back into the team, which I think we all agree is a positive. They got some money for Bella Kotchap, didn't they? Which was a big surprise.
Yeah.
Ryan
Fraser off the books.
He went to Australia, didn't he? So, yeah, I think all in all, transfer window, probably the fans would agree that we didn't bring in what we probably wanted to bring in or thought we should bring in, but we have got a lot off the books, and hopefully Larin will do the business, and Ross Stewart can stay fit. So let's hope that. I know, Dan, you were very concerned that if Ross Stewart 2 weeks after the window shuts picks up an injury, that's us done. But fingers crossed that won't be the case, and we'll end up finishing strongly. So yeah, and then of course after the previous 2 games I spoke about, we went on the road last night to Leicester. Lee, you and I and your oldest Ollie, we went to Leicester, didn't we, a couple of years ago in the Championship? It was a great evening. 5-0 defeat. I thoroughly enjoyed driving home from that. Not at one point I thought it was going to be the same again last night, but wasn't to be. I don't know which one of you wants to kick off first. Lee, you can go.
Yeah, I'll go first. Well, yeah, it's a game of 2 halves, wasn't it? First half, we were start with the team sheet. Archer's getting a lot of flack. I kind of understand why he did it. Larin's obviously not fit to play 90 minutes, and they've got to be careful with Stewart. So in many ways, he didn't have any option but to do it. 90 seconds into the game, I think you missed this, Dan, didn't you? 90 seconds into the game, he missed a sitter, which on reflection, I think it's a harder chance than people think. He's blazed it over, and that would have been an altogether different game for Saints. But after that, it was almost like their heads dropped, and Yander was poor, Fellows was poor, and Archer was anonymous. He just looked completely off it. Like that chance he missed completely zapped him of any confidence, and he stopped running, he stopped pressing. It was dreadful. The goals we conceded were not good goals. I'll let Dan go through them a bit more later, but to find yourself 3-0 down at half time is not good. And for me, it was, and I criticised Tonda openly on X, and but you've got to give credit where credit's due. If you criticise him, you've got to give him the credit and the flowers when it's due. He got in at half time. He brought Matsuki on. I thought Matsuki was excellent yesterday. He is really starting to turn into a decent player. Now he's working out the Championship a little bit, and he's working out the physicalities. He's a decent player. He was really good. Stewart's obviously made a massive difference. We've got to keep him fit. I mean, Dan and I have joked he needs to be in Barbados this week having a massage once an hour for 10 minutes every hour, and just do nothing. Don't kick a ball. Just keep him fit. Larin's come on again. He's looked a handful. He's a big unit up front, isn't he? He's going to be all right, I think. He may not. I think he's going to be a bit like Che Adams. May not score the weight of goals, but he is going to be a nuisance up front. Jack Stevens, I mean, that volley, Cristiano Ronaldo would have been proud of that volley. Great goal. But yeah, it's just shown character. That's the one thing we could always accuse our team of not having. They didn't have the balls to actually go and do something. They suffer with being negative against any sort of setback. Well, yesterday they proved they can do it. They proved they've got balls, and that's going to go a long way. Archer scores. We go 1-0 up. We might get a routine 2-0 win against a not great team, but actually coming back from that, you imagine the dressing room after that. When that final whistle went, I bet it was absolutely buzzing, and they were buzzing today, and they can't wait for the next league game. I mean, there's every chance. Well, I know we're going to get onto these league games, but the next 4 are all very, very, very winnable. We get 10 points or something out of the next 4. We could be 5 or 6 points into the playoffs, clear in the playoffs. But I'll get a little bit ahead of myself here. But yeah, for me, it was just brilliant. I was ready to turn the radio off, the phone off, everything off at half time. I was watching it. I did UK pop round for a bit, Matt, and we were just like, and then we scored one, and then it's just sort of started snowballing, and evidently the fans could feel it in the ground. You could hear it on the radio. You know, it was just one of those not once in a lifetime, but once every 5 years, 6 years games where it just snowballed, and we got the equaliser, and you knew they were going to get the winner. It was absolutely brilliant.
Momentum. I mean, it's what happens with momentum and a bit of positivity. So Dan, when you know an hour and a quarter or whatever it was before the start of the game, the team sheet comes out and you see an unchanged team apart from the man up front. He's out of nowhere brought Archer in. What were your thoughts on that?
I was having a conversation with someone on X after the lineup, and they said something quite openly. I replied to them and said, well, I hope that we play to his strength given how we've been playing. Archer needs to be facing goal, running at goal, and okay, he missed the chance early on, but he got the chance because he made the right run and the movement was right. But then the rest of the game, he found himself fighting centre-backs as if he's a big 6'3" hitman, and he isn't that guy. I think we've said before in other episodes, if Archer is going to play, he needs to be playing with a Ross Stewart. You know, whether that's two up the top, whether he's on the left and he's the replacement for Cienza, you know, a substitution time. So I still like Archer personally. You know, I don't agree with everyone digging him out and saying that one of the goals that Leicester scored was his fault. It was absolutely Yanda's fault. Yanda was dreadful, absolutely dreadful. He'd make a tackle and then give the ball away. Make a tackle, give the ball away. You know, he was pathetic, and he looked tired. He looked like he hadn't recovered from the weekend. So I think we'll see. Obviously, I know we've got a cup game this weekend. I can probably see him playing this weekend and actually resting Shea Charles. We never get into that. But I wasn't angry with the lineup, Matt, at all. The changes at halftime had to be made. I think, judging by Tonda's comments, it was very much a player-led halftime team talk, from the sounds of it. You know, I think he said his words were, the players decided they wanted to go for it. So he could have easily gone, do you know what, I'm just going to stick on another defender, go 5 at the back and just make this not get any worse than it already is, and try and walk out with a 0-0 second half. And I almost think the players have twisted his arm to go, we'll go and sort this for you. That was shit. That really was not good enough. Trust us and we will go and deliver. It read between the lines, obviously, a little bit, but that's what I was getting. And Lee, you made a comment earlier today. They're playing for him.
Yeah.
They are clear as day playing for him. And I don't think I've seen a Southampton 11 have this much commitment towards a manager since Ralph. Where you saw players running the length of the pitch for their manager to put in the effort for the fans and all of that. You know,
Flynn Downs has been transformed.
What has happened to him? I mean, his new private chef clearly isn't feeding him raw chicken, which is fantastic. But yeah, it's Flynn Downs of old from 2 years ago. The guy that we were all like, shit, if you keep delivering, you're going to go on to big things. And I'm quite thankful that he hasn't, because the team's built around him in the middle, I think.
Yeah.
And how nice is it now to see, and we haven't seen this for years, but, and I'll say back 5, including the keeper, but the keeper and the back 4, just the same names every week. I mean, that as a fan is one of the most soothing things ever, in my opinion. Bree has transformed the team. I feel bad for Yellett because I don't think he was doing anything wrong, but he isn't big enough for the Championship. I'd be intrigued at some point to see him come on for Fellows on the right wing, further up the pitch, and give him the licence to go, because Bree can play 90 minutes every single week, and he's never going to get injured. Just touch wood, but yeah, touch everything wood around you. So yeah, I think overall, Matt, quite happy with the game. Yeah, first half was crap. Buzzing to see our pal Manning score again. He doesn't want to pick up the ball and go run back for the fourth. He'll give it the big one with the fans at 3-3 like he's won. So love it. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, I missed the first half because I was at my Nippers football training, but the phone kept buzzing in my pocket, and I kept looking. I was going, what is going on? I mean, that is a Saints capitulation of old. That is, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, just. And I really thought at half time he'd bring the other set, you know, Wood on and go to a 5-5 at the back and YB. And like you said, Dan, just sharp shop. Let's not let this get any better. But you know, credit to him and credit to all the players. You know, they've been accused so many times this season of not having the pride in the shirt and not playing for the manager and what have you. But any talk of that is absolutely gone after last night. I feel sorry for Archer. Like you said, Dan, he's just not suited to playing that role. A bit like Adam Armstrong, I guess. They're not suited to playing that role up top on their own. They're just not big enough. They're not physical enough to do it. And I definitely I want to see him given a run, but you know, with somebody up with him, or like you said, you know, get him in off the left because I think he has played there before. So.
He scored off the left against Arsenal. His first it was his first Southampton goal. You know, and that was him. We were there, Lee. You know, at that game, and it was off the left. And he's got so much pace. If he's got his back to goal, that pace is being wasted. He needs to be on the last man's shoulder, especially in the Championship where 9 times out of 10 he can get the extra yard and be offside because the linesmen don't have a fucking clue. So
yeah.
He's gonna get away with it. Why not?
Yeah. But yeah, I couldn't believe the final result. I mean, as I was driving away from Yorsley, I think I left at 3-2, didn't I? And then they equalised within about 2 minutes of being in the car. Absolutely brilliant. Just couldn't believe it. I mean, you wouldn't have had this current Saints team and setup. You wouldn't have had that down as happening with this lot, you know, no way. And you know, at 3-0, I thought it was going to be 5-6. I really did.
Yeah.
No, it was good, and you know, there's some great finishes in there as well. I mean, Stephen's goal is like Marco van Basten-esque. I mean, it's incredible, that volley.
And Shea Charles,
all credit to him.
Just a beautiful shot.
Yeah, unbelievable. But you know, all credit to him. You know, it's and Ross Stewart played his part as well. It's a good little flicked goal that he scored to set them on their way. So, absolutely brilliant. And it puts us before the games tonight 1 point off the playoffs, isn't it? I don't know what the scores are at the moment, but
I can tell you.
You know,
we're
right back in
the Championship, isn't there?
Is there?
Yeah, Charlton Stoke 0-0.
0-0.
Wow. Okay.
Which is a good draw for us. I know we're already above Stoke, but that's a fantastic result if that's a 0-0.
You've got 10 minutes to go.
Wow. Okay. Well, there you go. I mean, it sets us up really well for you know, when the league commences week Saturday. So, anything else you want to talk about from last night's game?
I think I can see Shea Charles now has played himself back into the team, and Yander having to sit out for a few games now.
Agreed.
Which I think is absolutely fine. I think Yander has shown his class. He's going to be a very, very good midfielder, and I think there's reports out at the moment, isn't there, that he's one to watch in the summer.
Yeah,
teams from Germany,
Salzburg, isn't it?
Yeah, Leipzig, Salzburg.
Yeah.
I think Wolfsburg. Maybe there's a few that are sniffing around him. So I wonder whether he's one. If we don't get promoted, whether he'll just bugger off back to Germany for 20 million quid because he is a sellable asset.
Well, he's got a long-term contract, hasn't he? I mean, what they need to be careful is that they don't flog him to death like they did with Lavia.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, Lavia was such a great player. You know, people when he moved to Chelsea, a few people said to me, "What's Lavia all about?" I said, "Mate, he's probably one of the best players I've seen at St Mary's for a long, long time. Just another level.
Well, I
Like,
remember,
like Van Dijk was just
Yeah.
a Rolls Royce. Just
we
a
beat
different
Chelsea,
level.
didn't we, at St Mary's under Ralph? And
Yeah.
Lavia was superb. Lavia scored, and
Yeah.
then he got injured, didn't he? He didn't play for 6 or 7 games. We didn't win a game.
Yeah.
He was that good. And funnily enough, you notice when he's fit, he's straight in the Chelsea team.
Yeah.
As soon as he's fit, he plays. End of story.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how good he is. But
He's incredible.
Yander, I think for me, I wouldn't play him well, you could possibly play him Saturday, but for me, Charles and Downs now need a little run in the team and see how they get on. And Bragg can't even get in the squad now.
Will he for this weekend though, for the cup game potentially? Would you just go Yander and Bragg?
Yeah, I'd have 10 or 11 changes. I wouldn't risk any of them.
Yeah.
Let Quasi and Wood play. Let Manning play. Let Yellert play. Bragg, Yander, if you want to do that. Dozy, Matsuki, perhaps Larin. Give Larin an hour just to build up his fitness. I wouldn't be anywhere near Cienza. You're having 2 weeks off. Fellows, 2 weeks off. Flynn Downs.
Fellows was quite poor.
Yeah, but I would argue he's been flogged to death as well. He's been playing right back, right wing, right back, right wing, wing back, everything.
Yeah.
And don't forget, he picked up an injury as well, didn't he? He had an injury in the middle of that, and they brought him back pretty quickly, didn't they?
Yeah. So just give him a couple of weeks off. But we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, great. It's such a great result. My nipper went to bed, and the last thing he knew, they were losing 3-0, and he went to bed, and he woke up this morning, and I said, "Oh, we won 4-3." Couldn't believe it. Absolutely brilliant. So a brilliant night, and the fans were particularly impressive as well. Again, they kept getting behind the players, didn't they? And I would have loved to have been up there to see that. But there we go. Okay, so moving on then, we have Leicester again on Saturday, this time in the FA Cup. 4th round, isn't it? So thoughts on this then, Dan? What would you want to see with the starting lineup Saturday?
Don't care. Make the changes. No, honestly, I just lose the fucking game. I couldn't care about the FA Cup right now.
It's a centenary year, Dan.
Oh, it's just the cups are favoured for the big teams to win. You get the odd sort of run from a lower team, but apart from that, it's a big team's trophy. No changes. Like Lee said, 10, 11 changes. I'd probably start Larin. I'd play Archer. I'd keep at every opportunity you can play Archer. I would chuck him on. Dozy as well. I think just to touch on Dozy, he has delivered exactly what you and I said, Lee. When Cienza comes off, yes, he's not the same player, but he'll take a player on and he'll take him on again. And if you have a right back on a yellow card and someone like Dozy comes on who's arguably a bit more skillful in terms of his trickery than Cienza, you're in for a nightmare half an hour, aren't you? He's quick. He does go down a bit gently, but yeah, he's a nightmare for a team. Whereas we've not had that. We've had someone else come on who, Robinson, bless the lad, he doesn't take a player on. He very much is backwards, sideways. He's not very direct. So good to see that from Dozy. Really good mentality, for him coming back in. I would play Yander. I think let him get, blow the cobwebs out a little bit, even if it's for 45, 50 minutes. Bragg, bring him back around the team again, just to keep him on the cuff, because you don't know what's going to happen later down the line. If someone gets injured and you need him, you don't want him to come in and be, like a deer in headlights. You kind of want him to be around the group and familiarise himself again after his concussion, because that's what dropped him out, remember, was a nasty concussion. And then, unfortunately, Flynn's gone to prime Iniesta. And then the keeper situation, obviously McCarthy's broke his wrist, has he? Or done something to his wrist?
He's had a wrist operation, yeah. I don't know what he's done.
I mean, he's fucking
That's
claimed
done,
that.
isn't it?
He's claimed that before the end of the season in contract, so he don't have to pay for his medical insurance. Any shithouse.
And I got no idea who this new keeper is.
His stats look
Jamie
quite good.
Jones.
Yeah, I mean, he looks like an experienced keeper, and again, maybe that's quite handy. Maybe just have some experience around. I mean, I'd like to see George Long play the weekend. You know, I feel a bit harsh that he's kind of come in and he's played under 23 games a couple of times.
Yeah, I wouldn't play Peretz.
Again, just give Peretz the time off.
Yeah. Week in the sun to go away.
Yeah, I just don't care about the FA Cup. I just want the next league game to come around now. Matt, you're shaking your head. You're shaking your head, but what would you rather? Would you rather us be in a predicament?
Win it, Dan. Well, I'd rather we won it, man.
But be in a predicament of getting up there in the playoffs, but maybe I get ahead of myself here, but in third place potentially, or and in the semi-final of the cup, and then have to make a decision where you've got 2 games in 3 days that are really, really important. You can't play the same team twice.
No, I know what you're saying. I jest, but it is 50 years since we last won it. We could be the team that wins it every 50 years. I
won't be around when we win it next time.
Spurs win it when the year ends in 1. We could be every 50 years.
We're not going to win it, Matt.
No,
I hate to break it to you.
No,
I mean, Leicester are going to make changes as well, aren't they? We have to consider that Leicester are going to make a number of changes, because do they have another points deduction coming potentially? Potentially it's another 6 points.
Don't know.
Don't
know. I really hope not, because that gets Portsmouth out of the shit.
But obviously Leicester are looking over their shoulder, aren't they? So they want to keep their best players fresh. I mean, they're in big trouble as a club. Some of their star players are going to be gone in the summer. So, it's going to be good to balance the books for them. So, yeah, we'll see what happens to them. They'll be up there again next year, I'm sure. They're a good championship team. But yeah, I'm just not bothered about the result come Saturday. I will obviously tune in and watch it, but yeah, if we lose, we lose. It's just, I think the team is going to be that different. It's going to be quite hard to get energized by looking at the team sheet and getting excited. The only benefit out of it is people getting minutes in the legs, and maybe Larin bagging a goal if he can, and making it 2-2 at home.
Yeah, fair enough. Lee, put yourself in Tonda's shoes, then you're picking the team. What are you taking on board Daniel's comments there? That you can give a toss if it's the FA Cup. What'd you do?
I want to win, but I'm pretty much with Dan. I'm not too fussed, and I would make 10 or 11 changes. As I said, for me, it would be Yella, Quasi, Wood, Manning, Bragg, Yander, because I do think they're gonna switch lanes to Charles and Downs, and then Matsuki, Adozi, and Larin. I would just make changes. I wouldn't have any of those. Cienza, Fellows would be nowhere near it. Ross Stewart would be nowhere near it. You might have Stevens on the bench, possibly. But I just rest them. Just rest them. Let them go away. Go with their girlfriend. Have 3 or 4 days in the Cotswolds or something. Whatever. Just, I don't want to see them. And if we lose, we lose. I'm not really fussed. If we lose and we get into the playoffs, don't care.
Who is vice captain now?
Don't know if there is one, is it? Yeah, Howard Bellison.
So you kind of, obviously Armour was, would have got it. So who captains the team if, like you say, Stevens go on the bench? I mean, just intrigued to see who gets the armband, to be honest.
Has Wood not done
Manning,
it before?
I reckon.
Oh, Manning might do. Manning, Wood.
Love Manning. Great guy.
But yeah, I'm not overly fussed. Obviously want to win, but not overly fussed. They're going to be highly changed. It's probably not even going to be a very good game.
Yeah, I agree.
And then just turn your focus to Charlton.
Yeah. No, I as much as I jest, I agree. But it is a good opportunity, isn't it, for the likes of Sam Adozi to come in, get Cam Bragg back in, Wood, Quasi, Manning, like you say, Yella, get them all in, get sort of 75, 80 minutes into them, and you know, they will do the same, as you said. You know, they've got bigger fish to fry than the FA Cup. I think it's sad how the FA Cup has gone like this. It always used to be a massively important competition, didn't it? That you know, if you're a small club and you're coming to St Mary's on Saturday, you know, and you see 11 changes by the manager, you know, it's like the beauty of the FA Cup that always was. You know, I mean, you talk to our parents, grandparents, you know, you talk to mum. She will say, you know, the FA Cup final on the Saturday used to be an all-day affair. You know, the TV coverage used to start at like 9 o'clock in the morning, and there was all sorts of stuff going on all through the day, and it was a massive occasion, and anyone was capable of winning it. But now it's gone like everything else. I mean, aren't they even talking about seeding the FA Cup like they do with or is that the women's FA Cup I'm thinking of? It might be the women's game actually, but you know, it is all set up now for the big clubs, because they've got, you know, 150 players in their squads. You know, they can rest 11 players and field still a really strong, difficult team to play against. So it's lost its beauty, and I find it a real shame, to be honest. So, you know, every club will be the same. You know, Liverpool will go out and they'll make 11 changes, and you know, it's in one way it's a good opportunity for a club like us to go out and, you know, try and get into the latter stages of it. You know, because all these teams will field weaker teams, and you know, you've got a good chance of getting in amongst it. But we won't. We'll make 11 changes, and yeah, I agree. I don't think they can really do anything else, to be honest. Promotion has got to be the priority, and getting into those playoff positions has got to be the priority. So yeah, do you want to do a score prediction for Saturday or not bother?
2-1 win, Saints.
2-1 win, down. Let me write this down. 2-1 Saints. Lee?
1-0 Saints. Because I don't think they'll play Fatawa.
No, they won't.
Or what's the other one?
Yeah,
Daka.
No, who's the other winger?
Oh,
not Mbuema.
Mava something.
Mavadidi.
Mavadidi. I don't think they'll play either of them.
No.
So
Harry Winks won't play, will he? He'll be rested.
He is mustard, isn't he? Harry Winks. Can we just, you know, put some respect on his name, because he's outrageous. The first half, he just bossed us. You know, our whole team. He just was pulling strings for fun. I mean, they have got a fantastic player in Harry Winks.
But he doesn't always start, does he? I don't think he started every game. He's been in and out the team, I think. You know, which is strange. But yeah, well, I'm gonna say a 3-1 win. I think nice. Sam Adosi's going to pop up.
Perfect hat trick.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, we quickly spoke about this keeper they've signed today, Jamie Jones. I think he was a free agent. He has played in the Championship. I think he's got 36 caps in the appearances in the Championship. Preston, I think, was his last club. But I think he was a free agent, so I wouldn't expect much. But maybe they'll start George Long Saturday. But we'll wait and see. But yeah, and then the following week is we've got 3 home games on the bounce, haven't we? Obviously the Leicester home game, then Charlton at home, and then QPR home.
Yep.
And the Charlton at home game brings back our old favourite manager,
who are now 1-0 up, by the way.
Oh, wow! Well, that's still a good result for us.
Yeah, it is,
to be honest.
Yeah, and not so good for Pompey, I'd say.
At full time, they have won 1-0.
Wow. There you go. Stoke have had a big downward spiral, haven't they, of late?
Yeah, they have.
Yeah, but thoughts on the game then? Charlton at home. You looking forward to seeing Mr. Jones, Lee?
Well, I was very fortunate to go to the away game where we absolutely battered them. So I would expect much of the same. I think he'll have them riled up, and they'll want to come out with a point to prove, won't they? Because we smashed them at home. Team picks itself, doesn't it? Keeper, back four, nothing needs to change. As we've sort of suggested, I think Charles will get the nod and he'll start to forge a partnership with Downs, and then there'll be Cienza, Stewart, and Fellows, I would imagine, unless Larin scores a couple of goals and looks super fit. I would imagine Stewart get the nod, go and win the game. We're with a better team. They're not very good. We're at home. Go and win the game. And I think we'll win it comfortably. I think we might win it 3-1, 3-0, 3-1. I think there's always a team that make a good push now, 10, 12 games to go. And I think that could be us.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just go and win the game. Team picks itself. Go and win the game. Nothing more to say. No messing. Go and do it.
Happy days. Yeah, looking forward to this one, Dan. It should be a good atmosphere. I bet Nathan Jones will get his Charlton players riled up though to come to St Mary's. So it might not be as easy as we think it's going to be.
No, he is absolutely, and he will try and annoy our fans. You know, and this is the trouble with these games. It's all fine digging out a manager when you're winning and you're 3-4-0 up. But if you're going after him at 0-0 or before the game's even started, you are just fueling the fire, because he will celebrate every tackle they get, every decision they get, and he'll try and play the fans, which takes the energy away from our boys, you know, and we absolutely need a quick start. We need the last thing we need in that game is it being 0-0 in the 80th minute. Because I genuinely think if it's 0-0 in the 80th minute, I don't want to jinx these things, but you can see what I'm saying. It's going to be a scrappy last minute goal to Charlton. And you know full well what that cock is going to do. He'll be on the fucking hoardings, giving it the big one. And hopefully old P. Dawson will run down and body slam him. But yeah, we just can't allow that to happen. We have to. I think we'll win 3-4-0. I do. I think we turned another corner. You know, I think early on with Tonda, we turned a corner. We then sort of stagnated a little bit and then, you know, dropped a little bit. Then we've gone up again. We've turned another corner last night with that result. And now, like you said, Lee, a team now goes on and pushes it. So go and show the rest of the league, make the other teams in the playoff fearful of us, and send a message. Yeah. You know, and that message has to be St Mary's is a fucking fortress, and our fans are going to be loud. They're going to be up for it, and our players are going to be up for it. We're going to go into big tackles, and you know, to commend Flynn Downs again. Okay, he got injured and went off with that, you know, sort of contact injury, but what a tackle! You know, that was a body on the line. I don't care if I get hurt because the other guy's going to come off worse tackle, but I'll win the ball. So yeah, I just couldn't bear losing to that twat. I hate Nathan Jones with a passion. So yeah, but I do think 3-4-0, and I agree with Lee. The team picks itself.
Well, yeah. Well, let's hope you're both right. I think it could be a bit of a tougher evening than or afternoon than we think. His style of football so dull, isn't it? It's big and it's aggressive. And as you've mentioned, if he starts riling the fans up and it becomes a bit of a frustrating afternoon for us, it could all go horribly wrong. But yeah, I think, as you say, the team picks itself, and hopefully we've got enough to get the job done. But I mean, moving forward, you know, certainly after last night, you want to see now that St Mary's becomes a lot harder to come and play in, you know, and for these away teams. And I hope the atmosphere improves at St Mary's, because I mean it's been god awful for a long time.
Well, the prawn sandwich brigade, isn't it? Like
Yeah,
Roy Keane always said.
Yeah, I mean it's been dreadful. I mean, go down there and it's there's just no atmosphere down there. And
we have been served shit for
yeah,
years
absolutely,
and years.
absolutely.
So the club have only got themselves to blame for that. They've only got themselves to blame for that. But these players, for me, they showed yesterday they're up for it and they want it. You know, some of them won't get a move to the Premier League next year if we don't go up. They're not going to get a move. So their only chance of playing in the Premier League is by getting there through Saints.
Agreed.
You know, so bloody go for it.
There's been a bit of banter coming back between the Northern and Itchen, and I think next year, regardless of what happens, I think you'll see the atmosphere improve. You know, I've seen there's a few people that have gone back to the Itchen for the second part of the season.
Okay.
From people that I sat near last year, and they've gone back there. And all of a sudden, there is this bit of banter again between, you know, we're the Itchen over here, we're the Northern. So that's starting to come back, you know, and I appreciate you used to have the away fans in the middle of that. But that alone creates something, you know, and I do think the longer that goes on, you'll see a few more people stand up in the Itchen, and you'll see a few more people in the Kingsland then stand up going, well, we want to be involved like we used to be. We don't just want to sit down for 90 minutes. And I think it may start improving. Sorry, Lee.
No, that's all right. No, that's fine. Yeah. Just let's go for it. Let's go for it, because I think Ipswich end up winning the league, and I think Middlesbrough come second, and I think Coventry bottle it. And then you look at the Championship, Coventry. If Coventry only make the playoffs, they will immediately be on a downer.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, we become one of the favourites, especially if we've got momentum on our side and we've made the playoffs. Just go for it. Absolutely go for it.
Yeah, no, I'm in agreement. I mean, I was saying about the atmosphere. I said to you on Saturday, Lee, I think, you know, it's difficult sometimes to get fully invested in what's going on down there, because there's been so many bad decisions. And even, you know, last night when he started Archer, I said on our group, that is an inexperienced manager's decision. I know you shot me down, Dan, but it was. I think it was an inexperienced. I don't know where that has come from. I can't see the logic in doing that last night. And
the only logic is if the two strikers aren't fit enough. That's all I can imagine it is. If Ross Stewart's fit enough, he starts him.
Yeah.
If Larin is 100% fit, he starts him.
Well, this is where the communication with the fans comes back into it. You know, if that is the case, why is Tonda not coming out? I mean, he doesn't have to, does it? You know, you know, nobody says he's got to do it, but it makes his life easier if he comes out and he says, well, do you know what? Actually, Ross Stewart wasn't probably ready to start the game, and Larin's not either. So we went with Archer. Okay, fine. Everyone understands where you're coming from, but I was saying sometimes it's hard to get fully invested in what's going on down there at the moment, because there has been so many bad decisions made by these awful owners. And, you know, Tonda, you know, is he going to be there long term? I mean, you know, it's difficult to get fully invested in what's going on down there when a bit of you is thinking, this is just a plaster that's stuck over the wound. You know, it's not a long term. And you know, I find myself sitting there down at St Mary's sometimes, and as much as I hate to admit it, you know, I just with Saints of recent times, you're just waiting for the next kick in the teeth. You know, you're waiting for the next run of 3 or 4 or 5 defeats on the bounce, and well, I told you so. You know, it's another poor decision by Sport Republic. But so for last night to happen was fantastic, and I what I was getting at was I really hope that result helps to maybe change a few people's minds, mine included, and there is an upturn in atmosphere and what have you down at St Mary's.
So a quick question for you both, Matt, probably for you first, since you've just mentioned it. Is Tonda the man long term? Obviously, Thomas Frank has been sacked today by Spurs. I personally think he's too big for us. That's my own opinion. Would you take him right now? Where we are, last night's results just happened. There's no ifs, no buts. The players are playing for Tonda, and Thomas Frank is available. What'd you do?
Well, I think you're right. I think he is too big for us. There's no way he comes down to us. However, if he was keen and he was up for it, would you take him tomorrow? Yeah, I think I probably would. Because Tonda is clearly a decent coach, isn't he? And he's obviously a very astute football man. But what we've been crying out for and what we desperately need is experience to get us up out of that league. As well as Tonda did last night, it started off not very well. It started off shambolically. Now, was the second half performance, as you said, Dan, was that down to the fact that he gave a Churchillian team talk at half time, or was that the players did it off their own backs? I just don't. He doesn't fill me with any confidence, Tonda. We've all said in previous episodes, to get out of this league, you need experience. You need an experienced leader on and off the pitch, and they haven't got what we need on the pitch, I don't think, and I don't think we've got it off the pitch either. Spores, I think, don't know his arse from his elbow, to be perfectly honest. We can talk about transfers and stuff. Blackmore made a very good point about the right back situation. Spores has absolutely bodged that situation. Where's Lee gone? Did he disagree with me so much?
Clearly, absolutely fuming with what you just said.
Obviously is. I mean,
that threw me off completely.
What has gone on? I lost my train of thought. No, I was saying.
My laptop decided to do an update. Sorry.
Blackmore said, was it last night or after Saturday's game? Spores has completely bodged the right back situation. Didn't need to get rid of the Japanese lad.
Sugawara.
Didn't need to get rid of Sugawara, and didn't need to let James Bree go at the start of the season. If he'd have kept those two, we'd have been fine. Didn't need to get Yeller, and he didn't need to get the lad from Roslev, because Roslev has now seen another specialist. He's not going to play again.
Injury, isn't he?
He's not going to play again this season. So then, as Adam Blackmore said, you are potentially left with a right back now that's got another 3 or 4 years on his contract that might not play. So that I do not trust anything about Spores or Sport Republic. And getting back to what we were saying, I just don't think Tonda's the answer long term. If you could get Frank in, get him fully invested, and give him everything he needs, I chew your snizzle off for it, to be honest.
Lee?
He's gone again.
You have frozen. He's back.
What is
my laptop doing?
Well, Lee, it's your turn to answer the question. So hopefully you could. So Thomas Frank, would you take him if there was, a snippet of a chance?
What now?
Right now.
Yeah, I think you do, and I think that is very harsh on Tonda, but I think I just don't see Tonda. I think if we don't make the playoffs, I think he's gone. I really do, because I think the remit for any manager is to get into the playoffs. End of story. So I think he goes in the summer if we don't make the playoffs. God forbid we win the playoffs, get to the Premier League with Tonda as manager. I just think he's too inexperienced.
Yeah.
He might end up being the next Guardiola for all we know. It's a difficult one, isn't it? Because at this moment in time, he's doing all right and they are playing for him. And do you risk that? I still think we've got more of a chance of getting Frank in the summer anyway. I just think
I mean,
he's had a shit experience at Tottenham.
Yeah.
Unless he might go to Palace. That would probably be a good fit for him because Matey's going at the end of the year, isn't he?
Yeah, Glasner's going, yeah.
Glasner's going, so that might be a good fit for him. So it might be a non-subject, but I'd almost say no at the moment. I just think Tonda's doing all right.
I think you've got to back your horse.
Yeah.
You know, there is no reason this second to move away. I think the biggest thing is the players look happy. I don't think we've seen that. I think all of a sudden Harwood Bellis is this different breed. Flynn Downs is a different player. Now, whether they are playing to get a move away in the summer, I couldn't give a fuck. If that's what they want to do, that's up to them. We're getting the benefit out of it now. So,
well, if we go up, they don't move. They'll have another season with us. I mean, even Cienza, the last few games hasn't been at his best. But yesterday he made 4 chances, which I read is the most chances made by any player in the Championship for years.
Since 2023, I think.
Yeah. He scored goals. He scored the goal. He was crap against Pompey. Crap's too strong. He didn't get a lot of the ball. He scored the goal.
Yep.
You know, he scored another one, hasn't he, since? Yeah, it's all going pretty well. Just got to keep Ross Stewart fit.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, we'll take Frank. Yeah, absolutely. But I don't think at this moment in time, no, I wouldn't. But yeah, as far as the next games go, you just keep them coming. Let's just keep winning. And I've said before, if they win the next 4 league games, that's a big thing to ask, isn't it? Let's say they get 10 points, 3 wins and a draw. I think they're in they are in the playoffs, and they're in the playoffs by a good margin. And then maybe you do get to go to 3rd or 4th, and you play your first game away from home, play the second game at home.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, Ipswich are absolutely, in my opinion, favourites to win the league, go up. You know, they've got 2 games in hand or a game in hand, and one of them's against Pompey, for fuck's sake.
Well, if it ever gets played at their Tin Pot Stadium.
So, you know, you can't see them getting anything but 3 points out of that fixture. So it's on. You know, it is on, and I'm looking at the table now. And again, when the league next comes around, a couple of results go our way and we win.
Yeah.
And like you say, Lee, we're just there. But then you win again, and then another result goes your way. We are right in the mix. And
yeah,
I tell you what, I said at the beginning, I try not to get carried away. But you get 10 points in the next 4 games, and a few results go our way in a few weeks, because we've seen with Coventry the slip up they've had and how clear they were at one point.
Yeah.
Tell you what, second place wouldn't be too far away.
No. And a playoff 4, if we're going to say Ipswich and Borough going up, of Coventry, Hull, Millwall, Saints.
To be honest, I'd be scared about Millwall, but I'd want to face them first, and hopefully
not over 2 legs. I wouldn't. I'd expect to do them over 2 legs.
Yeah, but I'd want to face them first. I wouldn't want to be, facing them at Wembley, to be honest. So I think that would be horrible for us. You know, you want to be facing a fucking Hull at Wembley or something like that, because they've got about 25 fans and can't sell an end.
Yeah, but Hull have beaten us twice this season.
Yeah, but 3rd time's a fucking charm, Matt.
Well, there we go.
I think it's all written in the stars that we beat Coventry in the playoff final. And a certain Mr. Lampard gets a lot of stick.
I thought you were going to go into the song.
Cheer up, Frankie Lampard. I mean, that is a massive bottle from them. They gave it the big one at St Mary's. They have bottled it big time. They were 10 points clear.
Yeah.
Their arse has gone.
Yeah. You got to feel for their fans a little bit. You
No,
imagine
not
if
really.
that.
Not
Not
You
at all.
imagine if that was us.
No.
Well, no, because we wouldn't bottle it like that.
And we didn't bottle it.
There's
We
just
won
no
the playoffs.
empathy. There's just no empathy here. None at
Matt,
all.
their
No,
fans are a
because
disgrace
their fans
against us.
are a bunch of twats. After the draw, they were such tossers on Twitter, so they can all get fucked. Hashtag PUSB, get fucked.
Oh, dear. Apologies for any children watching this.
Right, so if I can, Dan, you are away next week.
I am, yeah.
So do we want to do score predictions for the next run of 4 games, league games? When are you back?
I'm back on the Tuesday. I literally missed the Charlton game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so but I will put in my prediction for the Charlton game, and that is 3-0.
Nice. I'll say 3-1.
I will try and tune in, but whether that's permitted by management, we will see.
I'm going to say we're going to win it 1-0.
Are you okay?
Because I think it'll be harder than we think it will be.
Can't wait for you to FaceTime me when it's 3-0 up, going mad.
Yeah, because I think I'm working for that Charlton game. I might see if I can book that off. Oh dear, it's difficult. It's so difficult.
It's hard life, isn't it?
It is.
Get yourself from Monday to Friday, mate.
No, it's good being a Saints fan again at the minute.
So what about you two then? I guess if I'm doing a prediction, come on, I'm not going to give you two an extra week to mull it over. Matt, you think 1-0 Lee?
3-1. I think we'll concede because they've just got that lump it forward, big men at set pieces, and their goal against us when we hammered them at their place was a set piece, really crappy set piece.
We do look better though.
Yeah, Bazunu was in goal. I think Peretz has been such an upgrade. His distribution's not brilliant, but Bayern Munich let him go for a reason, so there was obviously some sort of flaws there. But he has just been immense. Some of the saves he's made have been incredible. Don't think he was at fault, particularly for any of the goals. I've seen someone say, was it you, Dan, said he should have saved Batawa's goal?
Maybe the third one. I thought he could have done better. I think
Batawa fucking smashed that, didn't he?
He does, but you're at your near post and he's there.
Yeah.
I did defend him on the shot from outside the box because that took a horrible nick off of Stevens and skidded up off the surface. So yeah, that's horrible. He's frozen like that. That's hilarious.
What is he doing?
Just carry on, Matt. Anyway, let's leave.
I reckon he must have Pornhub on another window playing at the same time or something. That's unbelievable. Yeah. Well, anyway, so there we go, Dan. That's probably, unless there's anything else you want to talk about.
No, I think that's it from me. I think that's it from Lee. He is back.
He's back.
My eldest son's had this laptop. That's what it is.
Anything else from you, Lee?
No, just keep winning. Come on, you red and white machine.
Okay, well, we shall reconvene after probably pre-QPR game, I suppose.
Yes, I think potentially you and I are going to do one next week, Matt, aren't we? And then we'll obviously Dan's back.
Yeah, we'll do something.
I'll send in some notes.
See if we can get somebody else on to come and talk some shit like we do.
Yeah.
Perfect stuff.
So,
cool.
Yeah, cool.
Come on, you Saints.
Nice one. Come on, you Saints. Just fucking